What's up, gang? Todd back here, and today we're going to do vlog number 2. First, I'd like to thank all my subscribers. So far to date, I've got about around 275, 280 as of this recording, which is late Sunday night. Should be at 300 probably within a few weeks, maybe sooner. I do appreciate every person who subscribes to the channel. Helps me grow. I know some of my content's kind of wishy-washy, but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at video, getting better at content. So I really appreciate all the help everybody's gave me with subscribing, leaving comments when they can. I appreciate it. Today's topics, I've actually had to take some notes here because I forgot what I wanted to talk about. You might have noticed the videos, the last couple of videos, including the one you're watching right now, is in 1080p. I've not changed cameras. I'm still rocking the 4K Lumix G7. What I've noticed is if I take 4K video, I film everything in 4K, and then I throw it into a 1080p timeline, Final Cut, and then I output the final video in 1080p. What ends up happening is I get sharper video at 1080p with better information in the picture, less motion blur, better color, stuff like that. And also it gives you the ability to crop into the picture. So if you need to crop into part of the picture or zoom into part of the picture, you'll actually get better video. Instead of being pixelated as it blows it up for degrading the video, you'll actually get better video. And also I kind of doubt how many people actually use 4K monitors to watch this content on, especially my content. I mean, I seriously tell very many people watching my videos on 4K monitors. So yeah, not really much has changed around the house. Still working on cleaning, painting, getting ready for the move, or ready for getting it on the market to sell, and then the eventual move where we end up landing at. So this one working on that kind of stuff. Today I finished working around the garage, getting Christmas lights down. Had some pretty nice lights up on the house for Christmas, and then I had to get all those took down, put them all away. And the garage up until Christmas was kind of a mess because I had lights out there and cords and containers from all that stuff, and you could barely walk through the garage. So worked on getting that all cleaned up. Also I wanted to mention my good buddy Chris of Windy Gaming has just launched a brand new product. Well, he's launched a Kickstarter for a product called the J64. What the J64 basically is a replacement card slot for the Nintendo 64. As you know, if you try to put a Japanese game into a North America N64, the game physically won't fit because of the slot. Down the bottom there's little tabs and stuff, kind of like there is on the Super Nintendo. And instead of reaching down there and pulling them out or taking them apart and grinding them off or cutting them out, he's actually designed a replacement card slot. You take the machine apart, you detach the card slot from inside the shell, put the new one in there, and you can play either region, any region games. The significance really of this is, I mean, sure, yeah, you could cut those out, no big deal, but this is an OEM level quality product. This is not a cheap 3D printed replacement part. This is a poured molded plastic, just like as if the manufacturer made it. And it's not made in Hong Kong or China. This is actually made in the USA. The card slot was designed, manufactured, molded, and being shipped from inside the USA. This is a completely American-made product. So for the price he's asking for, $15, that's a steal for something that's made in America, that's made to this kind of quality. So I think his Kickstarter fund campaign for $7,500 is extremely reasonable for something that's designed, engineered, made, produced here in America. He could have saved probably a few bucks, maybe a substantial amount of money by sending it off to Hong Kong. But then you deal with what happens if you get ones back from them that are defective. You have to ship them back, and you spend all this time slow boating stuff back and forth, and the headaches and the hassle, and sometimes the quality just leaves a hell of a lot to be desired. So I think he found that probably just doing it in America was the best way, and I would tend to agree. Also, since he decided to mold them, you're going to get that smooth, nice, smooth plastic like you would from OEM. You're not going to get that kind of raggedy 3D printed type plastic where he has like these little ridges and molds and just little imperfections in the plastic. With something that's molded plastic, it should be really high quality, and you really should support him, even if the J64 isn't something maybe you take a particular interest in. I mean, I don't even own a Nintendo 64. In my collection of systems, I'm not a huge Nintendo 64 fan. I might buy one because of this, because I actually backed this Kickstarter. But I'm not a particular fan than the Nintendo 64. I think you can probably count the good games on one hand on it. It's just not my kind of system. But you should back him because maybe this project isn't one you're interested in, but maybe his next one is, or the one after that. So I think that's why it's really important for us to back the small developers, indie developers, whether it be games or hardware, to further them, because maybe down the road they'll develop something we want. Maybe it's an indie game developer is putting out a game that maybe you don't care for right now, or I don't care for right now, but maybe his next game is something I would like. But he'll never get to that next game if he doesn't get his first one done. So I think that's important. Plus, for only $15, I mean, how can you really go wrong with something for only $15? That's price of a pizza. And for the price of a pizza, you can back a guy who's starting a campaign for a product that, to the best of my knowledge, no one else has done so far. Plus, I know he's got a lot of other really cool stuff coming down the pike. He's got lined up, so that's gonna be really cool. The Mac Pro video, the 12-core video, I know I promised it'd be out this week, and just didn't happen. I'm gonna reshoot some video and redo a few things because I'm not really pleased with how it's coming out, so I gotta redo that. So yeah, I'm hoping to have that out soon, but I don't want to make any guarantees. In other news, I'm still working on the MAME box, my Groovymame machine. Actually, I was just working on it before I started filming. I was talking to my buddy, the Modern Vintage Gamer, who had a live stream going, playing the new, what the fuck was he playing? He's playing the new Rainbow Six Siege game. So he was on live stream, and I talked to him about that. And while I was talking to him, I was working on the Groovymame machine. I've decided to change front ends. I was using Hyperspin, which is a very popular front end for MAME and multi-emulator setups where maybe they have a front end that controls MAME and a Super Nintendo emulator and a Genesis and this, that, and the other. And it's a very popular front end. It's very graphical, lots of spinning animations and sound effects. It looks very pretty. However, that all comes at an expense. It tends to run like a pig on hardware, unless you got a really, really top-end box. It tends to run like a pig, and on this machine I have, it ran fine. However, I was having problems where sometimes the front end would just lock up, and the system wasn't locked up, the emulator wasn't locked up, but for whatever reason, Hyperspin just took a shit, and I'd have to actually pull the keyboard, Control Delete, bring up Task Manager, and go in and kill it off and start it up again. And I want this to be a box that I can completely control from just the, just from the joysticks. I don't want to have to deal with the keyboard periodically. I want to be able to set up initially and then forget about it. So I've actually switched over to the attract mode front end. There's a multitude of front ends for MAME. I tried probably half a dozen of them. Some I just didn't like the way they work. Some I could never get to work correctly. Some of them are outdated because of changes that MAME developers have made within the last couple of years. Some of these front ends have stopped being worked on. They're basically abandoned projects, and they work great. But the problem is, if you use them with a newer version of MAME, and if the front end hasn't been updated for the newer version of MAME, it doesn't know what to do with it. So when it goes to look for a ROM list for MAME, it just dies and says, "Oh, no games," or it has some other problem. Basically, it doesn't work with newer versions of MAME, and that's a real problem with a lot of these older abandoned front ends like Mela or Maximus Arcade or some of these other ones where they haven't been developed for a couple of years now. So if there's any some changes made in MAME, these front ends don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to work with it. So it's important if you're choosing a front end for your MAME build to really look for a front end that's still being developed. Hyperspin's still being developed. It's buggy. In my case, it would occasionally lock up. There was times where it just freeze up with a white screen with an exclamation in it, which I don't know how that meant, so I'd have to pull the Task Manager, kill it off. But yeah, not a good scene. Not something I'd want to deal with in a setup. Especially if you don't put this in a cab. I mean, who the hell wants to keep a keyboard hanging around? So yeah, that doesn't work very well. Tell you what, let me go ahead and pull the camera down and show you what I've got going. Alright, I've got a little R-Top Leo running on right now. Tell you what, I'm just going to adjust the audio here a little bit. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just play a quick round of this here. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. As always, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment below. Even if it's just to troll me, I'm okay with that. That's what I get for being on YouTube. If I put a video up, I should expect some people trolling me. But anyways, yeah, please consider subscribing. Leave a comment below if you have anything to say, or if you're just interested in saying hello. And leave me a thumbs up if you like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.